welcome back to another installment of the Neighborhood Kitchen. So, you know what? It's a dreary, ugly Wednesday, and I thought to myself, well, you know what? I can't go outside and grill, so I can't, all the beaches are closed. Can't take the bike out in the rain, because that's never a good idea. So what else could I do tonight? I know, I'm going to make myself a beautiful home-cooked dinner. Now, the other night I went to a wake. A friend of mine's mom passed away, and I got to thinking, I lost my mom a few years back, and I said, I really miss the way my mother used to make one particular dish. Now, those of you who may know my mother, she was a pain in the ass. So, when it came to cooking, I'm a pain in the ass to cook for, because I used to do it professionally. And honestly, I was a much better cook than my mother. She would even tell you that reluctantly. My gravy, my meatballs, she would even tell you I'm better than hers because I used to make them like my grandmother. But there was one dish in particular my mother knew was my favorite, so she always used to make it. And I never dared to make this dish because I didn't want to do it better. I kind of just let it be her thing. Vodka sauce. I'm a fucking sucker for vodka sauce. It's like one of my favorite things. When I go to a restaurant, I typically will order that because I'm not going to order pasta and meatballs because I do it better. So I don't make vodka sauce ever. Ever, ever, ever. My mother always used to do it. Now, I purposely didn't make it because I didn't want to make it better, like I said. So I would even call her up. I'd say, Ma, can you make me some vodka sauce? And she'd say, sure. And she'd make like fucking gallons of it. One day she even asked me, she goes, you don't know how to make vodka sauce? And I just looked at her. And she got the point. She goes, yeah, fine, all right, whatever. So she went and made it. So point is, this is the first time I'm actually going to attempt it. Now, vodka sauce is not an Italian dish. If you find it in Italian restaurants, it's American Italian. I think some Italian got a little too happy with themselves, spilled some vodka and some marinara, and there you go, vodka sauce was born. If you go to Italy and you ask for vodka sauce, they're either going to throw a bottle of vodka at your head or give you a martini. That's it. But it is one of my favorites. So, like I said, this is going to be the first time I'm going to make it right here with you. It's a simple sauce to make. All you need is a couple simple ingredients. One, you need a good tomato product. Now, my mother may not have done this. I mean, there's 1,000 different recipes out there. This may not be technically correct, but this is the way she did it. And like I said, she made it the best, okay? The only one who was close is maybe King Umberto's. So you need a good tomato product. She always used tomato puree, okay? Which I'm using right here, which I'll explain in a minute what the difference is. But you could use a passata if you want. You could use crushed tomatoes if you want. Whatever you want to do, okay? So I'm going to tell you what's not in this, which you would normally see in a traditional Italian dish with tomatoes. You're not going to find any basil. You're not going to find any garlic. So you need a good tomato product. You need one onion, okay? You need some kind of a smoked pork product. Typically, you would find prosciutto would be in vodka sauce. Some people like to use pancetta. I'm using guanciale. Here's the difference. Prosciutto is a smoked Italian ham. Pancetta and guanciale is bacon. Italian bacon. It's not smoked. It's salt cured. Now the pancetta is, regular pork belly bacon, but the guanciale is jowl bacon. It's from pig cheeks. It's more succulent, more tender, more unctuous, and it's also more expensive. So I prefer guanciale, but pancetta works in a pinch too. So you need some kind of a smoked pork product. But if you want to omit that and make it a vegetarian dish, you can. Onion, you need some good extra virgin olive oil. Very little seasoning in this, okay? I'm going to use my Italian essence, and I'm going to use some salt and pepper. You're not going to find tomato paste in here. You're not going to find basil. You're not going to find garlic. That's it. Simple dish. And some grated cheese. And you're going to see how this all... Oh, and of course, the vodka. So I'm going to put this all together for you. You're going to see how real simple it is. It's going to take under an hour to make. So come on. Let's make some rigatoni alla vodka. So first we're going to start off by chopping up some onion. Just real simple. Okay, you just want to make some fine dices. You want to try and get this as uniform as you can so that they all cook at the same time. See, just like that. You just want some fine dices. I'm going to dice this onion up. I'm going to use the whole thing. and then we'll move on. So, first things first, we got our pan getting hot on the stove here. And I'm going to start with the guanciale. So what you want to do is you want to get a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, just a little bit, down into the bottom of the pot. And then you're going to add your guanciale. Okay, let's get a good spoon here. All right. And you're going to let this slowly render out. It's going to take a couple minutes. All right. You want to hear the sizzle. That's how you know you're hot. And I'm using about, it's about 7 ounces of guanciale. Okay. Put the second package in. Like I said, you could use pancetta, you could use prosciutto, whatever you want to use. Okay. Just don't use American bacon. I mean, you could even go without the meat, but I like the saltiness of the pork. So we just want this to render out first. Okay, get a little crispy. Let some of that pork fat render into the bottom of the pan because that's going to add some extra flavor in our vodka sauce. So just let this go. You want it about medium heat. Give it a little time. It's a food of love thing, man. You know, if you're in a hurry, get takeout. But if you got nothing else to do, let your pork slowly make love to the pan. Okay, so the pancetta is just about done. See how beautiful it rendered, and it rendered out a lot of that pork fat. We're gonna drain this out. Okay, I'm gonna take this pancetta out. I'm gonna rest it on a paper towel to absorb the excess grease, and I'm probably gonna take half of this pork fat out of here and then saute our onions. Okay, so I drained off my pancetta. I took out probably most of the pork fat, save for like maybe 2 or 3 tablespoons, and now I'm going to add my onion to that. Okay, and we just want to saute this so that it gets translucent. Okay, I know it looks like a lot of onion. It is, but it's going to cook down. We're making a big pot of this, so I mean, you could use less onion. I just hate having leftover onion. It drives me fucking crazy because I'm going to end up throwing it out. So I might as well use it. All right, so you just want to just kick that around a little bit, okay? All right, now because we don't want this to caramelize, I'm going to salt this right away. Okay. I'm not using a lot of salt, but just a little pinch, okay, because I want to pull the moisture out of the oven. I got the heat on low, okay? And I just want to saute these, cook them down a little bit until they get translucent, okay? And then we'll deglaze with the vodka, add our tomato, and go to town. All right? But that pork fat's going to mix with the onion. It's going to get nice and happy. And then you're going to see some magic things start to take place in this pan. Okay? See how much our onions cook down? So we're ready for the next step. Now, this is the part where you season it. Okay, I already added some salt to this. I'm not going to add any more until later on. But I'm going to add a little black pepper. All right? I'm going to add a little Italian essence, my little Italian seasoning blend. You can make it. You go online, go to emeralds.com, look it up. I make it and I just stick it in an emerald bottle. Or you could use whatever kind of Italian seasoning blend you like. Just nice and easy. Now, if you want to make this a spicy vodka sauce, now would be the time when you add like your hot chili peppers. But Olivia didn't make it spicy, so we're not going to do that today. Maybe I'll save that for another day. So you just want to let this cook. Toast your seasonings up a little bit. Oh, it smells delicious. Okay? The reason I'm not going to add a lot of salt to this right away is because the guanciale throws off a lot of salt, especially in the pork fat. We're going to add grated cheese to this. That's going to throw off some salt. I mean, I'll adjust the seasoning as we go. Probably add a little bit more as we go. I just want to see where we're at. It's always easy to add, not always easy to take away. So just let this go for a little bit longer. Okay, and then the fun part. Kick the heat up on the bottom of this because I want to get this pan kind of hot. Okay, like really hot. Because we're going to deglaze this now with our vodka. Stand back when you do this in case it should ignite, okay? So we're just going to put a couple of ounces of vodka, maybe about a quarter of a cup. All right, you want to let this cook out. I'm going to actually try to flame it. There we go. So what I want to do is I want to burn the alcohol out of it, okay? That's all. When these flames die down, the alcohol's burnt out. So, you know, in case you got somebody who's on the wagon and they go, I don't know if I can have vodka sauce because it's got alcohol in it. Stay relaxed. I burnt it off, okay? All you want is the taste, okay? That nice vodka-y taste. Now that the pan is deglazed, alcohol's burnt off, okay? Our onions are nice and translucent. Let's add our tomato. Now, I said my mother always used tomato puree. Now, a lot of people confuse puree with passata, and they think it's the same thing. Not the same thing. A passata is basically raw tomato. What they do is they just blanch the tomatoes to get the skin off, but the tomato itself isn't cooked, and then they make a passata. They make they pretty much turn it into sauce. Tomato puree is they actually cook the tomatoes and then they puree them. So a tomato puree has a richer taste to it, whereas the passata is a little lighter, a little fruitier, a little bit more acidic. This has a little bit more body to it. Also, one of the reasons why we're not adding tomato paste to it. So you want to get yourself a good tomato product. Like I said, use whatever tomato product you like. She used the puree. That's what I'm using. Usually I use Palmy, but I'm having a hard time finding Palmy, so I'm using this tomato puree from Muti. Muti's an Italian brand. It's out of Italy, and it's a very good product. As a matter of fact, always taste your tomatoes. See, that's beautiful. Now, if you're using a tomato puree out of a can, you're going to have a very acidic taste to it. So you're going to maybe want to have to add some sugar to neutralize that. Since we're using a product out of a glass jar, you don't have that problem, so there's no reason to add any sugar. Same with Palmy. Palmy's in a container. Okay, so again, you don't have to add any sugar to that. Okay. So we got our tomato puree in there. And now we're just going to mix this all up. And we're going to let it simmer. Okay? For about, you're going to let it come up to a simmer. You're going to let it just go low and slow for about 40 minutes, 45 minutes like that. Okay? That's it. Nothing to it. Just incorporate everything. All right? And there you have it. Very simple so far. Okay. So while my sauce is simmering, I'm going to make some beautiful chicken cutlets. Now, real simple. You guys already know when you're making chicken cutlets, there is no need for that three breading bullshit process, okay? That all they teach you in the Culinary Institute of America, like a fucking Momo. All you need here is a little bit of egg and some breadcrumb. I'm using, Italian staple 4C, the seasoned panko breadcrumbs, but I like them a little extra seasoned. I'm going to add a few extra things in here. Okay, we're going to add some grated cheese. I'm going to add a little Italian essence. Okay, and I like mine a little garlicky, so I'm going to add a little garlic powder to it. Okay, the chicken cutlets never go to waste in my house because, we'll make sandwiches or something. So there you go. There's your breadcrumb. So you take your chicken. Don't be afraid to show it who's boss. These are nice and thin. I picked these up at Eastern Meats. Otherwise, I usually just make my own chicken cutlets. Let the excess drip off. Right into the panko, give it a good press, flip and repeat, and you do this with the rest of the chicken cutlets, and then you let them rest, okay? There we go, beautiful. All right, beautiful, look at it. These are gonna be nice and crispy, right on top of our rigatoni or vodka. It's gonna be beautiful. So, our chicken cutlets are ready. Look how beautiful. I even made a little bread ball because that's what my grandmother used to do, my mother used to do. Whenever you had leftover breadcrumb, just mix a little of the extra egg that was left over with the breadcrumb and you make little Italian fritters. So I got my pan on the stove. To fry my chicken cutlets, I'm going to use regular olive oil for this. Now, some people will use vegetable oil or peanut oil to fry their chicken cutlets. Don't do that. You're a fucking Momo if you do that, okay? Chicken cutlets should be fried in just regular olive oil, not extra virgin, but you want a good olive oil. It's got a high smoke point. So let this come up to temperature, okay? I got it maybe a third of a way up the pan. You don't have to go fucking crazy. You're gonna shallow fry these. They're thin cutlets, okay? And they're going to take a few minutes to do once this comes up to temperature. When the oil starts to ripple, you know your oil is ready. The reason I like to use cast iron for frying is, well, I like to use cast iron for everything. It retains heat. So when you put the protein in there, it doesn't drop the temperature of the oil too much. Our sauce is simmering away. Our water is boiling for our pasta. All the gears are clicking. We're ready to go. Pro tip. My grandmother taught me this. You take a little bit of breadcrumb and you drop it in your oil, and if it starts to sizzle and bubble, you know it's ready. Okay, so our oil is ready. Our chicken cutlets have rested, so it gives everything a chance to congeal. And very gently, you're gonna put them in, okay? And what you wanna do is wait a minute or two before you add the other one. You don't wanna overcrowd the pan, so I'm just gonna go like 2 at a time, okay? Just very easily, there you go. And don't fuck around with them. Let them develop a crust before you flip it, all right? But you're gonna see these things are gonna crisp up nice. It's gonna be beautiful. See, when your oil starts to come up halfway a little bit and you got a nice brown crust, now's a good time to flip them, okay? So they cook through, and then we'll flip them one more time so that they brown on both sides, because that's what my grandmother told me you gotta do. And beautiful, look at that, look, bravo, come bravo, wow. Are those chicken cutlets not fucking picture perfect or what? Now I'm going to pull these out. I'm going to rest them on a paper towel. Okay. Now I'll do the other two. And then we're done with our cutlets. But like, come on, look at that. You hear the crunch? You hear the crisp? That's from the panko. Panko breadcrumbs are the way to go. The same thing. We're going to put our chicken cutlet in there. All right. Put our chicken cutlet in there. This one's not cooperating here. Come on, there we go. And then we're gonna put our bread ball. And basta, we're done with this guy. Okay, so our sauce is just about done. Just a couple things. Before we add the heavy cream to it, I'm gonna hit it with the boat motor. Now, that's not something Olivia did. See, what she would do is, because when I was a kid, I couldn't eat onions. I used to get really bad reflux. But now I'm on medication, I could eat fucking onions all day long. So she would brown the onions and then take them out. So at least you had the flavor, but without the acid. I left them in, but I like my vodka sauce silky, smooth. I don't like it chunky. Some things I do, some things I don't. This I don't. So to make it silky smooth, we're gonna use the boat motor, which is also why I didn't add the pancetta back. So our sauce is all pureed. Now we're gonna add the cheese. Okay, I checked it for extra seasoning. So I'm gonna put a good bit of Pecorino Romano, some grated cheese in there, okay? You wanna shut the heat off when you do this, because otherwise what'll happen is it'll get stringy on you, and you don't want that. We're not making mac and cheese here. Okay, so we want a good bit of cheese in there, and we're going to stir that in, and then we're going to add our heavy cream. All right, and like I said, there's still enough residual heat in here. It's going to be nice. Okay, we just want to incorporate that cheese before we start mixing the cream in. Okay, because again, if we got to season it, we'll re-season. But this sauce is beautiful so far. Just like this, I could eat it. It's like a nice, beautiful marinara, very simple. Okay, like I said, it only took about 45 minutes. All right, just look at that, gorgeous. If you could smell it. Let's give our pasta a little stir so it don't stick. And remember to reserve some of this pasta water because you're going to need it. You'll see why. All right, let's give that a little taste. Now, for the cream. And we're going to use all of this. Okay? All right? It's about a pint of heavy cream, and now we're going to stir this all in. And it's going to get a beautiful pink. Okay? And this is all good. It's going to help out the dairy farmers. This is beautiful stuff here. Okay, beautiful stuff. And like I said, we're going to have leftover, which is actually freezes really well. Cream and all. When you reheat it, you're just gonna have to add a little bit of heavy cream just to reconstitute it. But other than that, look at that. Look at that color. I mean, come on. That's vodka sauce, baby. All right? That is perfect, picture perfect vodka sauce. I think Olivia would be proud. I'm getting excited because it's starting, the sauce part of it tastes like hers, because every time she made it, I would come by with a loaf of bread, and it, you know, typical Italian shit. All right, look at that. Come on, that's fucking perfect right there. If you could smell this, wow. Wow, 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 wow. All right. Hot damn. That's it. That's it. That is perfect. That's fucking perfect right there. Olivia would be proud. Okay, so our pasta's all done, as you can see. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ladle some of the sauce into the pasta. We add a little bit of the pasta water to it just to give it a little something, something. So take a ladle. We get our sauce. Okay, just right around the horn here. Just a couple of lashings. All right, that should be good. Just want to give it a good toss. Okay, you want everything coated nice, and then we'll add more things there. Okay, there we go. Look at that. Huh? That's beautiful right there. That's a thing of beauty. I'm going to add a little bit of the pasta water to this, and then a little bit more sauce. Okay, the pasta water just gives it a little extra creaminess, okay, because of all the starch. And just another lashing of sauce. Okay, just to tighten it up. And there we go. Oh, look at that, man. Come on. Come on, man. That's just fucking beautiful. All right, let's plate this thing up and get ready to eat. So excited. I forgot the most important part, the pancetta. Okay? But don't worry, I sprinkled some of it on my pasta too. So you want to just add the pancetta in, stir that around so it's all incorporated, and now it's going to be even better because we added pancetta. Okay? Now we're going to eat. I can't wait to dig in. Just look at that plate. Look at that plate. Perfect. I finished it off with a little grated cheese, a little hot pepper. I got a beautiful bottle of Sicilian wine. It's a nice blend. Let's take a little snort of that first. Ah, delicious. Now we dive in. The pasta. I gotta try the pasta first. Wow. Wow. That just that just brought me back. Well, hot pepper, but that just brought me back. Wow. This is, damn it, I nailed it. And now the chicken cutlet. Yeah, right? That's the chicken cutlet. From my kitchen to yours, get out there and eat something, huh?